We have a major El Nino in the forecast. The new federal data shows that San Diego now has the fourth highest population of homeless in the country. The city decided not to erect tents this winter to focus on the long-term housing of the homeless. But is that enough to keep people off the streets? To talk about it, we have Todd, Gloria, the San Diego City Councilman, and Ruth Bruland, who is the Chief Program Officer at Father Joe's Villages. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we have some new housing here for the homeless at Father Joe's. It's like 250 beds, but we're expecting some really extreme weather conditions here. Do we really have enough housing here in San Diego to keep people off the streets in some really rough conditions?
Not everyone. There are 4,000 people on the streets at any given time, so it would take quite a bit to make that happen, but that doesn't send you into passivity. You got to do what you can do. And
right.
That's what the city has put together in really a tremendous way.
Councilman Gloria, I mean, temperatures are going down. It looks like even today they're starting to dip. You're going to have a lot of people who could be cold, could be rather wet, people who could be displaced by El Nino itself. Do we have enough housing here?
Well, as Ruth says, no, we don't have enough beds overall, but what we have are more than we had at this time last year. The city converted its tent system into a year-round indoor permanent facility that is serving nearly double the number of individuals. And then what we announced yesterday is our inclement weather plan, where we acknowledge what the scientists are telling us to prepare for the very worst. And so Father Joe's is the first to step up with a commitment of 250 additional beds to provide for in cold weather situations. And we're hopeful that other stakeholders will come forward and offer their church social halls, other sorts of settings where we can get more people off the streets when the weather gets really bad.
Okay. So, but from what I know of that plan, you're going to use a dining room. So you're going to have to get people out of the dining room to be able to feed people during the day.
Correct.
So is that really the solution?
It is working with what we have and on a scale that can be managed. So Neil Good Day Center is a program that's open during the day. It certainly has capacity limits, but people will be able to leave our dining room and have the potential of going to Neil Good Day Center.
Okay, so there are some options there, but was this a good year? This tent system had been around since the 1990s. Given just all of the strain, the fact that we're seeing more homeless here now than we've ever seen, was this a good year to end that particular program?
Well, it's the right time to do it because we know that people, the tents don't solve homelessness. They're very necessary in inclement weather situations, but the truth is the communities across this country that are ending homelessness are not doing it with tents. They're doing it with year-round supportive housing. This is the model we're switching to. The end result is more people will get off the streets. But you're right, there are other circumstances. It's a dynamic environment, which is why we would take a dining hall and convert it into a shelter as necessary. We have an all-hands-on-deck approach to make sure that we can say with certainty that we're as prepared as possible. Again, yesterday was the start of this effort. We believe more folks will come online. But again, if the end goal, as it always should be, which is to end homelessness, you can't do it with a tent. You got to do it with permanent housing.
All right. So how short do we think we are? I mean, we've got some good numbers that have just come out from HUD saying, how many homeless we have here in the city. How short are we when it comes to if the temperature drops down in the 40s and it starts to rain? How many people are going to be on the street?
Well, with the point of time count that was done in early 2015, there were about 4,000 people on the street. But the solution has to be far more comprehensive than getting people in out of the rain. Certainly that's important, particularly in flood zones, and Councilman Gloria can describe the things the city has done to try and minimize that. For us as providers, what we're interested in is effective programming that decreases the amount of time that it takes to take someone from homelessness and get them into more stable housing.
And I think you've touched on this, but Denver, Houston, they used to be right where San Diego is on the list of the number of homeless, and now they're dropping off the top 10. What are they doing that we haven't been doing here?
A housing first approach. You take people as they are and you get them off the streets. Fastest way to end homelessness is give someone a home, and you provide the wraparound services to keep them in that housing. That is the difference between a tent in the interim shelter facility that we've converted to this year. We are adopting best practices with the goal of ending homelessness in the city. Other cities are doing it, other states are doing it. We can do it here in San Diego.
All right. And unfortunately, that's where we're going to have to end this. I want to thank my guests, San Diego City Councilman Todd, Gloria, and Ruth Bruland, who's with the Father Joe's Village. Father Joe's Village. Thanks to both of you for being on.
Thank you.
Thank you.